Almost every conversation that adults, whether it's a parent, an educator, a mentor, has with a young person about technology, social media, online gaming, almost every one of those conversations, if you really think about it, is starting from a place of fear. Fear about what they're seeing, what they're watching, what they're looking at, who they're speaking to, who they're meeting that they should not be meeting, images, graphics, videos that they're going to watch that they should not be seeing. And I think that's completely understandable. I absolutely have been guilty from time to time of entering conversations with my kids from a place of fear. And what I've realized upon reflection is that fear is always because of my own lack of understanding of what it is they're actually doing and why they're doing it. What I wanted to offer in this video is just a different perspective, a different way of approaching any conversation with a young person in your life about technology, about social media, about smartphone use, about screen time, about gaming, because I think there is an alternate way to have these conversations. And that's coming from a place of just knowing that when your child, when your teen, when your preteen desires to use technology, they're doing it because there's something they're trying to achieve by doing whatever it is they want to do. They have a goal. They have an objective. And so the shift that I'm inviting parents to make, and educators, anyone mentoring, leading, guiding young people, is the shift from fear, a fear-based approach, to leading conversations and dialogue and educating young people around technology, to a goal-based approach. Always starting a conversation from the place of, what is this young person sitting in front of me? What do they want? What's their goal? What do they desire? Because they absolutely have an objective in using the technology. And if you think about the attributes that make for a tremendous leader, teacher, mentor, guide, think about your own personal life, professional life. Think about the best teachers, leaders, coaches that you've had, whether that's professionally in your life, personally. I suspect that they have one thing in common, and that was that they were really, really good at, first of all, understanding what your goals were, understanding what your objectives were, your desires, and then they were fantastic at helping you move steadily closer towards achieving those objectives. And if I think about the best coaches that I've had, teachers, mentors, guides, if I really simplify why they were so good at doing what they did, for me, it's simply because they helped me get what I want. They figured out how to help me get more of what I wanted in my life. Whether that's, certain business coaches that I've had, sports coaches, the baseball coaches I had as a teenager, they were just really good at helping me achieve goals in baseball, whether that was with my team or personal goals that I had as a player. So if we are seeking, and I'm seeking, personally, I am seeking to be the best guide, mentor, leader, coach, teacher that I can be for my kids and the kids that I interact with in the world, just in my community and, kids around me. If I'm seeking to be the best guide, mentor, leader, coach for them, then my objective should be, how can I help them achieve what they want? How can I help them move closer to their goals? And when they use technology, it's no different than them doing anything else. There's a goal that they have. There's an objective they have when they pick up that phone, or when they ask you to use that phone, or they hop on YouTube, or they open Roblox or Minecraft. There's something they're looking to achieve. And I see it as my job, first and foremost, to gain an understanding of what it is they're looking to achieve. I was sitting next to my daughter this morning. She's 7 years old, and lately she's gotten really into gaming. So she's playing Roblox, she's playing some Minecraft, and we are, my wife and I are allowing her to play those games. We're staying close to the conversation. We're paying attention to what she's doing. This morning I sat next to her and she was really excited to show me this video, or actually a couple different videos that she'd seen on YouTube about this one game, a game that she has not played yet. And she was telling me that she's a little bit scared to play this game because in this game, the characters kind of chase you around and they're a little bit weird looking and frightening. I can't actually remember what the name of the game is called right now, but I sat next to her and I was just asking questions about why she's fascinated by the game and like what she's interested in. I was saying, well, do you think you might want to play that sometime? And she was saying, well, no, I don't want to play it right now because I think I might be too scared by the characters chasing me. But I could tell she's just so, my 7-year-old's very artistic and she's just really fascinated, I could tell, by the design, the graphics. She's fascinated by the way these characters look, the expressions on their faces, the way they move. And she shared at certain times that she thinks that she might like to be a video game designer when she gets older. And when I sit next to her and I have these discussions about technology, what I'm trying to do is focus on the objective that I know she has. And to me, it's really simple. She is not using this technology to do anything malicious or she's not fixating on anything that's particularly unhealthy. She's fascinated by the beauty that she sees, the creativity, the ingenuity in this technology. She's fascinated by it. And I think she's fascinated by it just like most adults are fascinated by it. Why do you go on TikTok or watch videos on YouTube like you are right now every day? There's something here that's of value to you, that's, whether you realize it or not, that's helping you move closer towards achieving the things that you want to achieve in your life. Don't get me wrong in any of this. I am not saying that we should blindly hand 8-year-olds iPhone 17s and let them run wild on those devices without any guidance. The approach that I am offering here and suggesting is absolutely not for a parent or a teacher who wishes to be hands-off. This is not a hands-off approach at all. So if your objective is to have a hands-off approach with your kids, that's where I feel like you've really got to be tight with rules, restrictions, because that's the only thing that's going to work if you are seeking to be hands-off. If you're seeking to stay close and connected and to have really interesting and fascinating conversations with your kids, the kids that you're either teaching or parenting, leading in some way, about technology, about gaming, about social media, then what I'm suggesting or inviting you to consider is shifting all your conversations. And perfection is absolutely not the objective here, but shifting your conversations as much as possible from fear-based to goal-based. Fear-based to goal-based. Many years ago, I think it was like 2014, when me and Blake, my business partner, best friend, created the My Life Online program, teaching kids to be safe, smart, and kind online. It's still being delivered in schools across North America today. We created this thing called the My Life Online Manifesto. And at the end of every single workshop, presentation, keynote speech that we delivered, whether it was for students, teachers, administrators, parents, we would go through this My Life Online Manifesto. And I'm going to just share it in a minute here, because I feel like this manifesto, although it was written by us 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, it still holds true. Like, it's so relevant. And it's a really powerful reminder for myself that having these conversations from a place of, what does my daughter, what does my son, what are they wanting to achieve right now? What are they looking to accomplish? What are their goals? Why are they using this? Why are they curious about this? Why are they fascinated by this technology? Can I see this tech through their eyes? And I can. That's the power of the imagination, right? I can imagine what it's like to pick up a smartphone for the very first time, because it wasn't that long ago that I did that myself. And just like be so fascinated by the way that the screen moves and the graphics and the way that it looks and by all the things that you can learn and discover and understand because of this technology. And if I can stay close to the conversation and stay connected and stay insanely curious, ask great questions, then I'm going to continue to deepen the bond, the trust, the connection between myself and my kids and the kids that I'm mentoring and teaching and leading. And when I do that over time, not only will I gain a deeper understanding of who they are as people, I'll also gain a deeper understanding of what it is they want to accomplish and why. And then when they run into tough stuff, maybe there's a challenging situation that they're dealing with online or offline, they're going to be far more inclined to come to me and to talk to me and to have those conversations with me if they know and trust that I am not going to leap into a fear-based or a judgment-centered conversation. Because once they feel my fear or my judgment, they will shut down. And that's not just something that kids do. If you think about people in your life, I started this video talking about the mentors, coaches, guides, people that you've been led by in your life, right? The great ones are really good at helping you move towards your goals. Think about the bad managers you've had, like in the workplace, people that maybe they had power, or they had authority over you because of their title or their position in an organization chart, but they weren't great leaders or mentors or coaches. Why is that? Because they weren't really seeking to guide you and to help you accomplish the things that you were looking to accomplish. They were just looking to have power over you. And you could feel their judgment. You could feel their criticism. You could feel their fear in certain situations. Maybe they were fearful that you were going to overtake them and that they weren't going to have the power over you anymore, right? And when you feel that, you shut down. Think about all the things that, if you have a bad manager at work, think about all the things you don't tell that person that maybe you could or should, that they'd benefit from knowing, but you choose not to tell them. Why is that? Because you feel their fear, you feel their judgment, you hear their criticism. That's why. That's no different with our kids. No different. So, I'm going to share the My Life Online Manifesto. I hope that there's been something in here that's been valuable for you. I'd love to hear takeaways. Drop them in the comments. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. If you feel like this video is valuable, certainly share it with a parent, an educator, teacher, leader, coach, someone in your life that needs to hear it. And I hope that you see, just like I'm realizing now, how this My Life Online Manifesto that me and Blake wrote 12 years ago is still relevant today. I said here today, it's the 4th of July, 2026. So here it is. The internet will either hurt my chances or help my chances of getting what I want in life. By the way, so we'd have kids say this out loud and recite this as like a manifesto. So it's coming from the first person. Let me start again. The internet will either hurt my chances or help my chances of getting what I want in life. Social media is not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing that amplifies who I already am. I get to decide who I want to be. Social media is a billboard for my behavior. So the question simply becomes, what do I want to say to the world? And what do I want the world to be saying about me? And then it ends with, welcome to My Life Online. And that's it. That's the My Life Online Manifesto. Thanks for watching this video. Lots more to come here on this channel. Appreciate you. And I invite you today to go out and have a goal-based, curiosity-driven conversation about technology, about screen time, about online gaming with the kids in your life, the teens in your life who matter the most to you. That's all for this one. I'll talk to you soon.